What's a common word you really struggle to pronounce? Rural. I hate the word Q because it's just pronounced Q and has all that unnecessary bullshit that makes me want to pronounce it Qui, to the point that's how I say it in my head even though I say it out loud correctly to not be judged. Fuck you. Q. Fuck you. Oh god. Pronunciation is no problem, but typing it is murder. And I'm in a field that uses the word a lot. Q. Queuing. Queued. Your fingers just don't know when to stop typing out you. Actually every word that I think about for more than 2 seconds. The more we say it, the less it sounds normal. Virgil Sanders. Worcestershire sauce. I usually get the sauce part right. Epitome. My brain goes straight to epi-tome. I believe that is a hyperbole. Homeowner. After you realize it has meow in it. Good luck ever saying it correctly again. Well, my brain just broke. Yo, what have you done? For those who have good pronunciation, I bet you scrolled down to attempt pronouncing all of the monsieur. I did, but Worcestershire sauce broke me. That word is a public menace. Beach. I have somewhat of an accent. Bitchet! Exclamation mark. Question mark exclamation mark. When I took Chinese in college, my professor explained his biggest trouble learning English was that Chinese doesn't separate long from short vowels. So when he says speech, it sounds like bitch, and sheet sounds like shit. Colonel. My brain can't stop seeing CAH Lunel. I know it's pronounced colonel, but I refuse to pronounce it like that because I hate it. I'll just stick to colonel. It's pronounced Cornell. You're killing the nard dog. Massachusetts. Massive two shits. This is the correct pronunciation. February. February. This one really irritates me. But apparently the common pronunciation has changed to drop the first R, making it February-e. I still prefer February-e. It isn't that hard to say. Brewery. Imagine if it was a rural brewery in Murfreesboro. Particularly. Similarly. Squirrel. I sometimes pronounce it as squirrel, like Homestar Runner. For a long time I thought graham cracker was pronounced like Graham cracker. It wasn't till college when I said that at a party where we're discussing s'mores that I was corrected. I also call tennis shoes and treasure chest chest. I feel this one. Used to say jawbridge. It wasn't until gut first season that I learned it was drawbridge. And that is also when I learned that dragons never actually existed. I was like 29. I didn't watch any more seasons of that show in front of people. Hold up, let's go back to the part where you were 27 years old and thought dragons were real. I want to make it clear that I knew dragons weren't alive now, I just thought they had once been real. When the dinosaurs were here. Well yeah, you're not an idiot. Marlboro, which sucks as it's a place name in my state as well, but I can't pronounce it at all. You pick whether to drop the R or the L, Marlboro, or Marlboro. See, I understand this in theory. When it comes to saying it out loud though, it ends up as Marlboro. I always fuck it up when I say the Netherlands, which sucks BC monsieur. From the Netherlands. I prefer to say the nether regions. I say the nether. Like all of the monsieur I stutter. Anonymity. Reverberate acetaminophen. The phrase rear-wheel drive. Congratulations, you're the first one to trip me up. Comfortable, especially when you haven't decided which accent to do it in. I always say it like COMF terrible. Bowl and not bull, you weirdo. Maybe they also pronounce milk as mulk. The word comfortable, how we say it, comfortable. Dishes. It always comes out as dishes. Just squish them together. Dishes. Similarly, found out I couldn't pronounce during my final presentation for a class. Similarly. Too many little syllables too fast. Similarly. I have a college degree, and I can't spell definitely right to save my life. A way I was taught to remember it is that definite is finite. Semantics of validity aside, it works quite well as a way to remember it. 2 when it's before a consonant, 3 when it's before a vowel. Well, I do this and I only just realized after sitting alone in my room and making up different sentences with the word "the" in it and saying them out loud. Never knew I used both pronunciations. When I learned English, this was one of the very first things we were taught. Not everyone picked it up well, but if you're learning English as a foreign language, you learn this. I'm surprised that native speakers apparently aren't. Native speakers aren't taught English in the same way as non-native speakers though. They pick it up from listening and copying over many years. So a native speaker probably says it this way, but just doesn't realize that it's been taught to them that way. For those interested in testing, I will go to the store. I will go to the amusement park. The green man in the purple shorts is the Incredible Hulk. Tilda. I will go to the store. I will go to the amusement park. The green man in the purple shorts is the Incredible Hulk. Thank you for this. Found out I always say "ooh" no matter what. Aurora. This is such a hard name to say. On the Golden Girls, Blanche accidentally called her granddaughter Oreo. I know a little Aurora, it's not easy for others to say either. Aurora. 6th. I can't say this word if my life depended on it. Whenever I'm reading a book or article and I run across hors d'oeuvres the first time I read it, I can not help but read it as hors d'oeuvres before slapping myself and realizing what it actually says. Hors divorce. Nuclear. I had to stop myself from saying nuclear because I know so many people who pronounce it that way. Anytime someone says nuclear, I die inside and have to resist correcting them, monsieur. Absolutely triggering. Nuclear. It's pronounced nuclear. Homer Simpson. Nuclear. Any word over 5 letters when I'm tired. Cinnamon. I usually end up saying synonym, monsieur. I also say bath as barf and deaf as death. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Newman ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. That's quite atrocious. This is a weird one, but I apparently say pen and pin the same way. A life of confusing the people around me when I ask for a pen. I know it's me, BC, I'm the common denominator, but come on people, how can you honestly think in the context of what we're doing when I ask for a pen that I am asking for a pen? Just had to get that off my chest. Familiarly. Probably. I just find workarounds like I bet. Probably. Turns to probably for me after a couple beers. Congratulations. At a certain point I started saying congratulations and I can't stop. XAA12 considering it's a popular word now. Murderer. Murderer. Batman. I accidentally pronounced inaugural as inaugurable during a meeting today. That was fun. Clitoris. Never mind, that's the thing I can never find. Ratatouille. Ratatouille. Not really, but English people struggle with the sound "ill" in French. It's really pronounced ratatouille. Well, that's the closest I can do, haha. Asked. AXD or asked. Which do you use? For me it's ASKD. I usually pronounce the K and the D, depending on the word after it. Although it also depends on how fast I'm speaking. Like whether or not I pronounce the TH in clothes. I couldn't figure out niche for a while, but then realized people pronounce it both ways. People pronouncing it correctly say niche. People committing crimes against human hearing say niche. Merely typing it has made me violently cringe. I've pronounced it niche for a while, but then heard someone say niche and got scared. Niches get stitches. Niche is the way I pronounce it. I don't know why. Because some men just want to watch the world burn. As a psychology teacher, the word psychoanalyst comes up all the time and I almost always fumble it. It's so embarrassing, lol. You're so psychology, then what is 2 plus 4? 7. World. Try Warudo instead. Makes it so much easier. Murderer in an American accent. I can't handle this rotisserie. Greater than I can't handle this rotisserie. But it makes the chicken so juicy and tender. Unrequited. Succinctly. I like that I'm scrolling down and seeing a lot of words that are from Latin. As a Latino, I do put a weird accent on all of them, but it's not hard. I only destroy them with accent. Succinctly, origin Latin from the verb succinger. Awkward, origin Old Norse, Middle English. Awkward is really fucking hard to say for me. So you could say it's awkward to pronounce? Superintendent. I blame The Simpsons. Hi Super Nintendo Chalmers. Quote, I'm learning. Similarly. Also, after years of forcing myself to correctly pronounce espresso, I often refer to the highway as in expressway. There's a road named for the Swiss psychologist Piaget. Every town he calls it Piaget, when it really has a French pronunciation kind of like Piaget. Worcestershire kills me every time. I think some people on this thread are getting mixed up between not being able to pronounce a word and not being able to read. Specific and breakfast, apparently I say them weird. Breakfast. Specific breakfast. Breakfast. Quadrilateral, there's another, but I'll be damned if I remember what it is. Was helping my daughter with schoolwork today and this kept tripping me up. I ended up saying four-sided shape. I felt like Porky Pig. Endocrinologist. 10,000th. Necessary can never spell it either. 1 asterisk C asterisk collar. 2 asterisk S asterisk leaves. You, sir, have changed my life. Never eat cake, eat salmon sandwiches and remain young. Exclamation. I keep adding a P in there for some reason. Where? PXCLPMPTPPN. Exclamation. Probably. Exclamation. Pixclamation. Exclamation. Quinoa. It is actually pronounced quinoa. I read it several times before I heard someone say it. My mouth still wants to say it as it is spelled. Quinoa. Drawer. Vocabulary and phenomenal. Rhododendron, 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 and so on. Pronunciations. Cromulent. So now we're just making words up? Edit. Sounds like Cromwell family heirloom. Everyone knows that it is a perfectly cromulent word, just like Biggins. Squirrel, rural, abominable snowman. I can say that snowman part. They hid a bomb up the bull's anus. Abominable. Worcestershire. I only use Leanne Perrins because A. It's the best Worcestershire sauce out there, and B. I cannot pronounce Worcestershire sauce correctly no matter how hard I try, so I just call it Leanne Perrins. Say must replace the M with AW. Say share Worcestershire. Birthday. I always pronounce it as birthday. Library. Phil Monsieur. Scots and Irish pronounce it Philu Monsieur. It was actually pronounced that way in early modern English. Also Girule, Carol, Warham, etc. for me. Jamaicans commonly say flim. I have no problem pronouncing the word ask, but how the fuck in the last 20 years did a large percentage of Americans decide it was pronounced axe? It's not really from the last 20 years. It's a minority pronunciation that dates back to Old English. Germanic sk developed into the English sh sound. But for some reason, the word ask didn't undergo that change. So at one point in time it was the only word in the language that had sk. This was hard to maintain, and speakers often switched the consonants around. An underscore is Sean underscore and underscore action underscore coexisted, though underscore is Sean underscore was always more common. Middle English eventually regained sk in borrowings from Old Norse. Skate, skirt, score, sky, and Old French. Scale, scarce, screw, screen, and ask eventually returned to sk in the standard language. But by then the per kilosecond had already spread far enough that it would just continue to exist dialectally until the present day. Wow, thanks for the clarification. So, was this information in your head already, or did you Google it? My boyfriend teases me because of how I say tour. I think I put too much emphasis on the you. If you don't emphasize, then you're saying tour. I agree with the emphasis. Tour. Conscientious. Sucks not being a psych major and not being able to say that word. Russell Westbrook. For some reason I always say Russell Westbrook. If you're curious, this is referred to as cluttering. Cool. Now I know what to tell my mom the next time she refers to Rufus Wainwright as Woofoo's Rainwright. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.